Hey guys, welcome to Uncle P's podcast. Yeah, I know. It's been a minute. It's nothing to do with consistency, nothing to do with anything. There's a lot been happening in the world. Everybody knows about the Russian and Ukraine nonsense happening. I personally didn't want to talk about it at all. Didn't want anything. I didn't want to shoot a podcast about it at all. One thing that I pride myself in, I'm not a cloud chaser. I don't just speak about topics because they're trending. Um, I speak about things that I feel that is affecting me, things that I think that it's beneficial to the people out there that people actually want to hear, rather than just what everybody is doing. So why did I suddenly now decide to talk about the whole Russian and Ukraine war? Well, because it's become racial. I remember in the beginning of this war, all of us, including myself, were like, is Russia doing? What's going on? You know, Sending messages and of hope to Ukraine. Now, I didn't do that because I always knew how this was going to turn out. I always knew eventually black people are going to realize that we ain't shit to these people. And it happened. When the videos started surfacing of black people not being allowed in trains, not being allowed to leave Ukraine, then black people started going, F Rush, Ukraine, and Putin should go and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I approve of what Putin is doing? No. Do I disapprove? Who am I to approve or disapprove? This is the reality, guys. The reality is what a lot of people are not realizing. If we go back in time, Europe, America have gone into people's countries and done as they've pleased. And nobody has stood and stopped them because they've always had their reasoning. Their reasons has always been that either Congo or the current government in Congo or Zimbabwe is mistreating the people, so they're coming to help the people, or the current leader doesn't want to leave power, he's a dictator, they need a new leader. But however, the wars that they've created in the world, it has destroyed these countries. Iraq, let's just say the Middle East and all that, even Africa. But we never got this type of responses. How many Congolese, Zimbabweans, and all this have ran away from neighboring countries, even African countries that were not accepted in? How many of our Asian brothers, when they were going through everything they were going through, running into European countries and they were not accepted? But today, look, doors are opening for the Ukrainians. Visas are being made possible for them as quickly as possible. Space is being made. All of a sudden, these countries have space for foreigners or refugees. Guys, the reality is this world is either meant for white people and we are just visitors or occupants, or as black people, we need to realize that we need to take care of each other and we need to worry about ourselves. What's happening in Ukraine? I personally say this is not a war that it's not a world war. It's not World War III, and neither a war that concerns us as Africans. But we're being affected by it. We're seeing food prices, petrol, and everything increasing. Why? What did we do? What do we have to do with that? This is getting affected because of all the sanctions being imposed on Russia. You see, the reality is the Europeans and Americans don't care about the effects of everything happening, the effect it has on Africans or Africa. Because you need to understand, when this nonsense stops, it is us who's still going to continue to suffer, because our natural resources is going to be needed in order to recover their countries, rebuild their countries and their economies. And that is the scary truth and the scary realization that we need to realize that, guys, when all the crap they're doing is done, we, Africa and Africans, are going to have to pay for it. And we did nothing to even start it. And, every day I even stopped watching a lot of the news or a lot of the stories about what's happening in Ukraine. But today I was on that retweet and record and post, because I see celebrities, even black celebrities like your Trevor Noah, who is an African, and he knows what Africa has gone through in the hands of the Europeans and the Americans. And he look, I watched the last episode I watched. Yes, he did speak about the whole, yeah, when it was, the Middle East, you guys acted funny, but he didn't really go into details. And he threw more jokes and sarcasm in there than he normally would when he was talking about Ukraine alone. It just shows you that even those that have experienced the African suffering, when they start benefiting from the white wealth, they forget about the African suffering. You see, the reality that I'm beginning to realize is that we are meaningless, and we make ourselves meaningless once we get out of the poverty, once we are no longer part of the struggle. Guys, it's not only a fight or a war when it benefits you or doesn't benefit you, if that makes any sense. You need to understand that if you only fight for your country, you are literally fighting to save a toe. But if you fight for your continent, your nation, your race, your people, you are fighting to save lives. Africa has been dying every single day. There's war happening right now in Africa. Ain't nobody talking about it. All of a sudden, we don't have anything to talk about when it comes to Africa. It's Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia. Do you people really know why Putin is doing what he's doing? I don't approve of it. But do you know the reason behind it? Putin is trying to stop NATO. Do you guys know the purpose of NATO? NATO was created to create unity among certain countries, individuals, to have a powerful military just in case of a war. A war from who? Against who? Towards who? If people came together the way they're coming for Ukraine, with every other country, whether it's Africa, Europe, no matter who it is, if we all came together every time a president wanted to start war, every time a country went through a crisis, do you honestly believe in 2022 there would be a poor nation or there will be a country facing war? No. Does any country need nuclear weapons? The answer is no, they don't. The reason they have it is because they know they need to protect themselves from certain people. Russia knows it can get rid of its nuclear weapons. Yes, it can if it wants to. But they know if they do, the Americans may attack them. So do all the other countries. It is the people with the weapons that attack others. If everybody had put down their weapons, guys, let's be honest. You don't need a gun. You don't need a grenade. You don't. If you have it because you have a reason to defend yourself. And you have a reason to defend yourself, it's because somebody has given you a reason to defend yourself. If nobody gives you a reason to be fearful and to have to defend yourself, you don't need all these things. So the Ukraine and the Russian war, if you go to the foundation, to the reasoning behind Putin doing what he's doing, and the fact that all of a sudden Ukraine wanted to join NATO and all that, come on, guys. The reality is Russia knows what's being planned, and they just acted before it happened, and they had no way to defend themselves. The truth will remain the truth regardless of how we look at it. The only problem is, regardless of what the truth is, innocent people suffer in the process. Our people, and I say our people, regardless of what culture they are. Our people in Ukraine are being mistreated, are being forced to stick behind. And it's not only men, even women and children. The moment they chose what was more valuable, the moment they spoke and said that we've never seen refugees like this, they're not like other refugees. What do you mean they're not like other refugees? I can assure you, I am more educated than a lot of those other Ukrainians out there. But they are considered more human and more educated and more anything because I guarantee you, skin color has nothing to do with anything. So they are more human and their life has more value and need to be protected more than a black person's life. How this turned into a racial thing, it's a very saddening, but it's a reality of the world. Black don't mean shit. And they keep reminding us this every single day. And this is where, as a black person, you understand that in order for you to have value, you need to give a black person value. Our issue is we ourselves don't value ourselves. Therefore, the others who were supposed to suddenly value us stop valuing us and we start getting shocked. The way we're treating each other, the way we are towards each other is exactly the way they are towards us. They are the initiators yet, and they continue to do so because we ourselves are continuing to do so. I wish love, peace, and harmony for every single person. Everyone that knows me knows racism, far from it. Me, racist, far from it. But facts are facts. When you need to speak, you need to speak. I got friends that I know are racist, white friends that I know. This guy is racist. Either he's friends, I wouldn't call friends, let's just say associates or people I know. Either he's friends with me because one, he doesn't want to be on my bad side because he's going to probably get his ass handed to him. That's up to him. Or I'm really a nice person and he has no reason to dislike me. But at the same time, I always say to them, regardless of whether you pick me as a black that you can tolerate or be okay with, you still have no reason to hate other black people, especially because you don't know every single black person. And if you're hating a person because of their skin color and judging a person because of their skin color and putting intellect and education level because of one skin color, then you are the idiot. You are the idiot. Honestly, I didn't want to talk about this, but it started getting a bit emotional and very heartbreaking to see the separation and the division that is occurring in a situation as heavy as this one, where everybody should be united. You know, I was even thinking it's safer for Africa to go and back Russia than it is to back the Europeans and Americans, because in the end of the day, the Russians have never invaded Africa. I can't think of any country that was colonized by Russia. I know growing up studying history, Germany and Russia were known as the most dangerous countries, we have to fear them. These people are not good, they are racist, they hate this, they hate that. And I took a few steps back and I realized, but yeah, as racist and as much as they hate whatever, they've never come after us. Somebody's going to dig into history and tell me, yeah, but. Anyways, this is not what I'm here for. All I want to say is prosperity, unity, love to everybody. Africans are people. Black people are human. We bleed, feel just like everybody else. Stop treating us like we're less than what we are. We are very valuable. We have done amazing things in the world. We don't need it. This conversation, we shouldn't even be having it. I call upon peace and unity in the world. We're all tired of war. We're all tired of suffering. This is not an Ukraine or a Russian thing. This is a universal world issue. Because when Ukraine and Russia stops their nonsense, guess what? Africa will continue with the war and the nonsense, which is supported by all these nonsense people that are claiming to now all of a sudden be saints. I'm your Uncle P. This is another episode of Uncle P's podcast. And fuck you all for thinking that we are less than what we know we are. We are worthy of life.